Alright, what's going on, guys? Blood Moon Bobby here. So I would just like to start off saying thank you to SForce Spector for recording the video I asked you to make. It's really great to get your take on the new Cartoon Network hotel. Maybe one of these days we can finally do a video together, just as long as our schedules match up. I would just like to say that I think my mic sensitivity was turned up too high, so I had to do some editing to try to fix things up. We're still plenty audible, but just be prepared for a few quirks here and there. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so we're here trying again to talk about the Cartoon Network Hotel, which I'll start off by filling you guys in on what talking about the hotel itself. So it's going to be opening next summer in 2019. You can't see it on your end, Gabby, but in my recording, I'm showing you guys the website that you actually sent me from Palace Entertainment talking about the hotel. So it's opening in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It'll be near the Dutch Wonderland Family Amusement Park. What's going to be inside this hotel, according to both Turner's press release and the Palace Entertainment press release, is that there's going to be 165 hotel rooms and suites. Each room will have an interchangeable show theming that's customized around kids' preferences, which we'll talk about in a minute here. And it will feature worlds from popular Cartoon Network shows like Adventure Time, We Bear Bears, and the Powerpuff Girls. And the Palace Entertainment press release really goes into like emphasizing how the hotel is going to be run as if these Cartoon Network characters are going to be the employees themselves. Like it even says right here, because you've never stayed at a hotel where cartoon characters are the employees. So they mention how you can enjoy bacon pancakes made by Jake from Adventure Time. Ice Bear can make you a latte. And you can swim in a brand new resort-style pool under the careful eye of Gunter, the penguin lifeguard. You can enjoy lawn games and fire pits from Summer Camp Island. And the other thing you mentioned is that you can watch a cartoon before anyone else in the world at their outdoor amphitheater. And other features of this hotel, they talk about water park, of course, or the indoor pool. Yeah, I don't know why I mentioned water park. I mentioned there's an indoor pool. The press release says there's going to be an indoor arcade, kids play area, coffee lounge, wine bar, and a Cartoon Network store. So
yeah, that sounds so awesome.
Yeah, it definitely sounds really exciting. So now I wanted to bring you on, Gabby, and we're also going to be hearing from a very devoted follower of mine, SForce Spector. I apologize, I've been pronouncing your name SForce Spector for the longest time, but it's actually pronounced SForce Spector. And I'll play a clip from when he talked about the hotel. I asked him to talk about it on his own YouTube channel, so I'll play a clip here.
It was actually really fun and enjoyable. The rooms were decorated in Nickelodeon stuff, so mainly it was the early 2000s stuff. I had a lot of family members in each room, so there was a Danny Phantom room, a SpongeBob room. That was my room because I enjoy SpongeBob. There was a Fairly Odd Parents room, and I forgot the other. Oh, and Jimmy Neutron. Those were the only 4 rooms we had. I'm not sure if we had Dora. I think we might have had Dora, but I could be wrong. We didn't have any live action. We chose the cartoon character ones. And in terms of 2007, very early Nickelodeon Hotel, there wasn't too much, but there was enough to do. They had the pools. That was definitely a huge thing, and I was there practically every day. And they had water slides, so it kind of added to the fun of it. There was also shows, like game shows that the whole family can interact with if you were chosen to come up on either a stage or if it was in one of the side rooms in the back or on the pool side. Also on the pool side, there was also every few hours slime would drop, and it was just green dye and the chlorine. But either way, it was still fun, and I actually did that. That was actually pretty cool. In some rooms of the lobby area or on the pool side, there was activities you could do, like arts and crafts. Those were really fun. My favorite one was making coloring in a Nickelodeon shirt that had Nick Jr. and Nickelodeon characters, Nicktoons, on it. That was pretty fun. I sadly no longer have the shirt. Um, um, on our very last day, and it was always on a Saturday if I remember correctly, they would have a character breakfast where it was only SpongeBob, Dora, Cosmo, and Wanda, and that was it. And they would come by your table, they would dance, and they would come by and quote unquote autograph your whatever item they have to sign. Nickelodeon, it was mainly they would just stamp their names on your book and call it a day. So, in my opinion, that kind of took out the fun of it. One thing that I could say that definitely went wrong in terms of the character department and quote unquote Nickelodeon aspect, there really wasn't much in terms of what characters you saw. Now, SpongeBob is like pretty much like the face of Nickelodeon, and that's not a problem. And they had three characters, like I mentioned before: SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. I did not get to see Patrick much. I did see him. I tried to chase him, but I did see Squidward, so at least I got to see that. But um, after that, the other characters got retired very quickly. Like at one point, they actually had Rugrats ones, but they retired those fast. They apparently had a Little Bill one. Of course, that one got retired. And they had a Wonder Pets one, and that got retired quickly. And apparently later on, they had like the new Nick Jr. shows. I have no idea why, because that was like the 2010s, and I was way out of Nick Jr.'s league. Quite disappointed. So, the number one thing I hope that the Cartoon Network Hotel does is, and it's one backfire and one reason why the Nick Hotel could not last any longer, was there was absolutely poor maintenance in the hotels. So definitely make sure to keep the hotel and everything clean. That's all on the maintenance people and not the people who, were in there. The hotel last. I mean, it's definitely on the, people who were in the room to, help out. But at the most part, you know, maintenance, that's on the hotel and the company to definitely make sure that, it's good to use for, to survive as a company. So definitely make sure of that. My second thing is, if you're gonna have pools, make sure it's just not just pools, because that's one thing that Nick Hotel really failed at, was there wasn't a lot of things to do that were Nickelodeon based other than the tiny little activities that you did that were arts and crafts related. Other than that, there wasn't really much. So definitely be sure there's at least in a museum, at least like a Land of Ooh museum that's interactive. I would say definitely look at what the DreamWorks Trolls Experience is doing with their museum. I would definitely do something like that. It gives kids and older people to be like, oh wow, that's actually a pretty cool reimagining of Finn and Jake's treehouse. So definitely do something cool like that. Also, I very much so would not limit the characters that are around walking around. As I stated earlier, that was what Nickelodeon had an issue with. And the Cartoon Network Cruise, they didn't have many characters being promoted. All it was Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls 2016 and the new Ben 10 reboot. So that's not a lot of characters they had on that cruise ship. So definitely be sure to add fan favorite 90 characters, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, the whole bazang. And then the 2000 stuff that people remember, and then the 2010 stuff that, of course, is Steven Universe, Adventure Time, Regular Show, and I guess Craigly Creek, maybe. And also, don't be afraid to add some WB stuff like Teen Titans Go, any DC character, and Unikitty. Don't be afraid to do it, also. I think it's really just the rest is just make sure you have good food, and make sure that it's a hotel people definitely want to stay at. So, other than that, I really hope that this isn't a backfire, and I really hope that the Cartoon Network Hotel does, in fact, last a lot longer than the Nickelodeon one, and, in fact, looks at how long Nickelodeon Hotel and the failures that it had, so the Cartoon Network Hotel can last for neons. So, I'm SForce Spector, and enjoy the rest of the video.
And Gabby, you yourself actually stayed at a very similar hotel. In your case, you actually stayed at a hotel at Walt Disney World, right? So can you tell us
Yeah,
about it?
it was part of the resort, so I was at the more lavish end of it. And we had cards basically that would be our passes and our method of obtaining food and souvenirs. So that was basically like before they did the whole wristband thing that they have now. If if you've looked into Walt Disney World recently, they came up with a wristband system that's like you put it up to like sensors that are around the parks and stuff, and you just put it there, and it's like, yeah, we can go in now. Um, then there was a character. There's like a meet and greet with the characters where you get to eat and they're walking around. I knew that it was supposed to be mainly breakfast, but I'm not sure if it was breakfast that I got to do it at. Oh, I did forget to mention last time. We were over there celebrating my brother's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So on the day of his birthday, when we were out at the park, uh, he was actually called over by one of the cast members, and he received a phone call from Goofy wishing him a happy birthday.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, and as like part of the birthday gift, my parents rented out. Yes, you basically rent out this Mickey pal. It's like a stuffed plush, but it it basically interacted with you depending on what you told it or where you were in the parks and stuff. And it was basically, if you imagine yeah, just like an interactive doll, which was actually pretty tight. It was like the big thing at the time we went to the park. I think it was called like My Pal Mickey or something like that. It's been ages since I looked into it.
I see.
Yeah, that was trippy. I don't know. I don't know how I wasn't scared of it, because if you think about it, it's almost like basically like a Chucky doll, but it's Mickey Mouse. It was still pretty cool though, and it did try to kill us.
What? Really?
It didn't. It did.
No, of course
It's
not.
only because it was very interactive. It said a whole bunch of different things. And, it was just very like out there, very like technologically advanced according to its time.
I see.
Oh, yeah. So that was a thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, did
I
you have more
think
to
that,
say?
yeah. Going back to the Nick Hotel, I actually did end up watching the Defunct Land video later, and one of the points that I think I forgot what his name is, but the host mentioned was the fact that he thought that the Nick Hotel really trying to be a big resort type experience in such a short span of land, which was another problem because, um, they wanted to do all different kinds of things, but they just did not have the space. Tons of people wanted to go, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that," and the prices of rooms because of the experience was very problematic because it's like a tiny hotel, and then you're like, "Wait, you're paying this much for what now?"
Yeah, I mean, I think in Defunctland's case, it's more because of like how priced the hotel was and the fact it was near Universal. The reason why a lot of people had to stay like in the hotel was to get the most out of their money. Now, Defunctland said that Nick Hotels. I bring up the screenshot here, and I know some of you people are like, "Oh my God, $550," which that's not like the whole story. I guess you could say. Like Defunctland said that a 2-bedroom suite at the Nick Hotel could cost between $135 and $275 a night. And, I'm sure the price fluctuates between seasons. And a 3-bedroom could cost between $300 and $600 a night. So, I think that was more so the issue with the Nick Hotel was because it was such a high price. And, that's not including amenities like food and the all-access wristband or tax. So, all in all, the entire experience costed $763. But yeah, so I think because of that, that was why the Nick Hotel, when you put it all together, was kind of like, oh my God, it's so expensive. And funny enough, in comparison, I looked up how much the Disneyland hotels cost because, it's pretty much the closest comparison you can get. And at cheapest, the Paradise Pier Hotel costs around $269 a night. Though if you actually go into like details, the starter room of the Paradise Pier Hotel at Disneyland starts at $316 per night. And if you go to another hotel, we're not talking about the chain hotels outside Disneyland. We're talking about the ones with the Disney name. Those could go up into over $400 per night. So the other, I guess, it brings us out into, I'm at least hoping that the Cartoon Network Hotel won't be super expensive, which is kind of a hard task given what they're promising with this hotel, especially, the first thing that comes to mind is they mentioned how, there's going to be interchangeable themes. And I know we talked about this in the previous recording, Gabby, but I was wondering, what could this mean? How could they do interchangeable themes while keeping it cost effective?
Yeah, and I remember I was kind of thinking that they might be doing something with like the accessories and decorations that they put inside the room. I mean, you already take a lot of time prepping up a room anyway, so a few plushes here and there, maybe even a poster like I remember you mentioned, or like bed sheets may not be such big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely not talking anything like what they did at the Nick Hotel where they had just completely dedicated rooms. Where you even see like there's like murals or wallpaper on the walls depicting a specific character.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys go watch Defunctland's video, which I'll link in the description, he shows off like these hotel rooms where the wallpapers had theming from like Fairly Odd Parents, the Rugrats, and Danny Phantom. So
Jimmy Neutron.
And of course, I don't know why I keep forgetting about Jimmy Neutron, but basically that was the idea behind the Nick Hotel. So maybe in the case of the Cartoon Network Hotel, if like let's say for example, if they pick let's say we get Steven to come along with us. I'm not sure if we're actually going to go to this hotel. It's out in Pennsylvania. We're here in California, and we say, we want a Steven Universe room. So maybe instead of like wall paintings with pearl and amethyst, it's going to be more like one bed will have like a bed sheet with Steven on it. The other may have, let's say, pearl or something like that. And maybe they'll have like different figurines scattered around the room.
Yeah, like a little plush, because there's a lot of plushes. They look really scary.
Mm-hmm. Or the Scarlet figurine that I have lying around.
I had one like that. Oh, it's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, maybe a poster too. Possibly. Probably not. But yeah. No, and The other thing I'm thinking now is with the mascots, because oh boy, did the guy from Defunctland have a lot to say
Yeah,
about the mascots.
yeah, I was really creeped out. Thing about me is, as a kid, I probably wouldn't say, "Ugh, that looks so creepy." But now, as I've grown up and learned more about like art and design, I'll still admit the Nick mascots don't freak me out as much. Like they definitely look really strange, but maybe it's just my taste. But what
I
did you
think
think, Gabby?
I as well, mainly because I'm pretty okay with the idea of mascots, and I know, you know what, it's a costume. It's probably not going to look very realistic,
Hmm.
but I mean, I know there are a lot of people who get easily put off by mascots, and the more unrealistic the mascot looks, the closer it gets to the uncanny valley. Oh, is that the stuff of nightmares?
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, I used to be that little kid who wouldn't like want to take pictures with like Mickey in the park. I guess for me, it's just such a absurd concept, like meeting a cartoon character. Ah! Like for me, it wasn't the design; it was just that the idea was so bizarre to me.
And then I think Defunctland makes a good point where they're like, yeah, okay, so they already got scared with the mascot that they saw in the day, and then they go back into their bed, and then they're having nightmares of it, and they wake up all scared, and they turn on the light, and what's on their wall?
Yeah, I forgot the character, but he basically said, like, there's a Nickelodeon character staring at you, like, right at you.
Yeah, because you asked for a room dedicated to that character, so of course it's gonna be a giant picture of him on the wall.
Oh, God. I mentioned yesterday how, since, like, my favorite Cartoon Network show of the 2010s Renaissance was Regular Show, and Regular Show has, like, some really bizarre, like, characters, and I'm just like, oh, great, now I'm gonna have to wake up in, like, middle of the night, and all of a sudden, what was the name? The Billy Mitchell parody character. You guys might know there was like an entire lawsuit. It's like staring at me, and it's just like, ah!
No, I think more of a oh, what's his name? The Gumball Machine. Oh, why did I forget his
Benson?
name? Yeah, he's you just kind of is like, you're fired. It's like, ah.
That sounds like something more out of a nightmare than something that will pop up at the hotel.
Exactly. That's why they just kind of wake up, and then because that's what happens in the dream, and then you wake up, and then just like, yeah, he's gonna fire me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All I could say is, like, for Cartoon Network is just make sure your mascots are, really well designed and not, like, super, freaky.
I mean, there were, I think the one for, what was that one little kid show with, oh, the Wonder Pets. They had a Wonder Pet mascot for Ming Ming? Was that her name? Ming Ming the duckling?
I don't follow that, so I'm not sure.
No, it was a duck. It was like legit, like a duck with like a pilot hat.
I seriously don't remember, Gabby.
Yeah, I just remember it from Defunctland's video, and I don't know. I've been around a lot of younger kids, so I ended up watching Nick Jr. here and there, so I kind of knew what they were talking about. But yeah, that one didn't look so bad. I think if you could look that one up. But yeah, I think the main ones that I thought were creepy were the SpongeBob ones, particularly Mr. Krabs and Squidward. I mean, Mr. Squidward was. No, Mr. Krabs was. Don't mind me, just flipping. Mr. Krabs, you could see was like even it had like an angry look on his face, and then he's smiling at you like, oh my god, what? So yeah, I think that was more the creep that. And I think Defunctland mentions that too, where it was like they always had a smile no matter what direction, and
Yeah.
it wasn't always the most flattering one.
Hmm.
So that made things very creepy. Uh, anyway, yeah, mascots, guys.
Yeah, I mean, all I could really say is just make sure they look well designed. I know Defunctland mentioned a thing where, at least with the Disney ones, if like for instance, if Mickey's face was a little off angle, his smile would become more of a neutral smile.
Yeah, like you look up and you see the big grin, and it looked nice because it was cute and like round and squishy, and you're like, yeah, it looks.
Hmm.
Of course, he did also mention that was after a lot of different attempts at. If you've ever seen pictures of like how the mascots originally looked in Disneyland. Oh my god, they were so scary.
Yeah.
Those were horrifying.
I'll have to look into that. But yeah, just
Yeah,
basically.
I am kind of a Disnerd. I won't call myself an outright Disnerd, but
Hmm.
I'm interested in the topic, and I do particularly enjoy the parks. So I ended up roaming the internet, ended up coming across some of these pictures. Oof. Okay, anyway. Enough of.
Yeah. So
What else is there to say?
yeah. I mean, I know I kind of talked about how I hope this isn't going to be like too expensive of a hotel, but you basically said that because Dutch Wonderland, and I believe Dutch Wonderland only costs like $11 to get in, so in a weird way, the hotel will probably end up costing more. I mean, rightfully so. Obviously, they can't say, "Oh, hotel for $11," or not. Even a non-theme hotel can't, will promise that kind of a miracle. But let me just double check here. The website, Dutch Wonderland, says it is Winter Wonderland ticket, $11 a person. We bring this other thing up. You can see, yeah, basically $11 person, $4, save $4 when you purchase now. So, but no matter where you look at it, the hotel is bound to definitely cost a significant amount more. Like my concern is, like, I don't know about Pennsylvania, but this is obviously the first time we've heard of this place, and I definitely thought it was kind of strange for Cartoon Network to say, "Hey, let's partner with if Palace Entertainment and open this hotel near this place, this park in Pennsylvania," which I think is kind of strange. Like, are people gonna go out to, since most people probably don't know about this park? Are they gonna be willing to fly out to Pennsylvania just to go to this hotel? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I sure would. But I know there's not a lot of people in the position or in the interest to be like, oh, heck yeah! I mean, like we mentioned last time, the idea of inviting. Like, if I tried to invite my parents, they'd look at me funny, like, "Are you serious? You want me to do what now?
Yeah,
Children's cartoons? What?"
I get the same kind of reaction whenever I tell, like, my parents I want to go to a Star vs. the Force of Evil exhibit. But yeah,
Yeah,
especially since, because at least with, like, let's say Disney World or Universal, there's, it's Disney World, Universal, never really been there, and it's bound to be a lot of fun. In the case of
yeah.
cartoon.
Universal's a little more kind of like, oh well, anyone can go to Universal.
Hmm.
So, I
Even
mean,
though.
Disneyland is also like that, but I think a lot of people are kind of like, oh, for the little ones, because they
Hmm.
want to meet Mickey Mouse.
Hmm.
Though I obviously I enjoyed no matter what. I'm just like that. But I definitely see it trying to attract particularly like families with younger children. Though I think we did mention last time that they did want to also like include other stuff a lot more for like the older audiences as well. Like I mean, right on the press release that we saw from Palace Entertainment, They even mention a wine bar.
Yeah, and a coffee lounge.
Yeah, which is kind of like, yeah, I don't know if kids are going to even be able to enjoy either of those.
No, like it's strictly meant for the parents. Like I forgot who said it. It was either Defunct Land or SForce Spector. Or I'm tempted to say Defunct Land, but I could be wrong. But one of them said that one of the things about the Nick Hotel is that it didn't really offer much for parents aside from maybe like a private room and things like that.
Yeah, that was a weird thing too. Like if you look at the main setups that they had for the rooms, it seemed almost like they wanted you to have your own little house there.
With the Nick Hotel?
Because they even had like a living room and like a kitchen, I think. Yeah, it was like, what?
Yeah, I mean that's just really weird to me. Like maybe in Pennsylvania, like people will be drawn to this place because Dutch Wonderland is nearby. But I'm just wondering. Like I know some people out there are going to say, well, it's people out of Pennsylvania, but since this is making major news, it's Cartoon Network's first hotel, like it says on the Palace Entertainment press release, and obviously Cartoon Network has way more fans. I don't know about way more fans, but they definitely have a fan base that's nation and worldwide. We grew up in California and been watching Cartoon Network.
And I will say that Cartoon Network has handled adult audiences a little better. I mean, they even have their own adult entertainment block.
Mm-hmm.
They've pushed out other programs that are still pretty engaging for older audiences, despite still being fit for showing kids. They've already held events for Adult Swim. They marketed a lot of the products from their newer shows like Steven Universe and stuff like that to like older audiences as well. Yeah, so I think in that sense they have the upper hand. And a lot of the stuff that you hear on the press release, or both press releases, I think, kind of show that they're really good at keeping things interesting for everyone. I mean, even like the indoor pool, I think anyone can really enjoy an indoor pool. An arcade, a lot of people are really into arcades.
Mm-hmm.
And fire pits, don't even get me started on fire pits, man. That's like a party starter right there. I don't know very many people who don't enjoy a nice fire and maybe toasting some marshmallows and making s'mores. I don't care how old you are.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering if Laszlo is going to be there.
Yeah! Oh, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Camp Laszlo was an awesome show.
I don't know. The press release makes it seem like they're going to be focusing on more of the recent shows, like how someone mentioned Adventure Time, We Were Bears, Powerpuff Girls reboot, Ben 10 reboot. It doesn't say reboot, but you know that they're talking more about the reboots characters than the original. So
the good thing is that the way, if you're looking at it from the sense of what they're going to be showing at the hotel, I think it's a way where it can work a little better because they could really probably work just showing work and stuff or like designs for the reboot, but not necessarily pushing like all the cringy stuff that actually works.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe for Ben 10, because I know a lot of people don't like the art designs for Ben 10.
Especially the reboot.
Yeah, but Powerpuff Girls, I think they could get away with that a little better. Same with if they do anything with Teen Titans Go, which I'd be surprised if they didn't. Because, I mean, I like the designs. I may not be the biggest fan of the show, and I know there's problems, but most of the problems I see with the show are mainly with the writing, which don't really have to take into account by looking at the art design. So I think it could work.
Yeah. I mean, they may not mention Teen Titans Go, but there's going to be like people dressed up as Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, and Raven. Like it's almost a guarantee without shows still
more than anything. I can see Raven because Raven is a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Raisin, Ice Bear, Panda, or Pan Pan from We Bear Bears are a few of the main characters I see a lot of, especially younger kids interested in. So yeah, definitely gonna be looking at those. And the good thing is with We Bear Bears, it's kind of right there in the middle where it's kind of like you have like the older audiences who are just like, oh my gosh, it's such a cute show, but it's also so engaging and the stories give you feels. Yay, and the kids are bears! Bears! So there's a little something for everyone, which I think they can work off of using the in the hotel. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
definitely think so. What was I going to say? I'm just wondering, though.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
Go right ahead.
Oh no, the one thing I'm kind of confused is as to what made them decide to incorporate aspects from Summer Camp Island. Because as far as I know, with Summer Camp Island, it just kind of was there and then it disappeared. Because it was another one of those mini series.
I don't know, because I do. I mean, I don't watch the show, but I know it gets mentioned every so often by animation YouTubers. Like, it's just kind of, hey, we have a fire pit, and hey, we have this show going on Summer Camp Island, so let's just
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, which is weird because that seems to be even more attention that they gave Over the Garden Wall, which I think Over the Garden Wall actually had a much bigger reaction than Summer Camp Island. Because Summer Camp Island was also that kind of dealio where you have like the 6 episodes and then that's kind of its own story, you're not really going on any longer. But with Over the Garden Wall, it just left more of an impact. So I'm here like, why are they promoting that show?
Maybe it just needs the ratings. I don't know.
I guess possibly just because it works as an excuse to put fire pits. It's kind of just wanted to put fire pits.
Yeah, and also,
too.
Yeah, I know I mentioned Camp Laszlo, but then again, since Laszlo hasn't been on the air for years, I'm guessing they wanted to pick something.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be like, "How are kids gonna know that?" And we're over here like, "We remember."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember.
Yeah, and I know they want to market this hotel more for the kids. Like, I get that. It totally makes sense.
Yeah, I still find it a little confusing, but it's okay. I don't care. It's just a comment. Fire pits, good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
I guess the other thing too is, especially nowadays, since a lot of older people are checking out these cartoons, and I guess it goes back to what we were saying about how apparently the Nick Hotel didn't have a lot for adults. What do you think this hotel could do for older fans? Like, when I think about older fans, like, yes, I know they still do character meetups. I have a Facebook friend who likes to go to Disneyland and take pictures with the people and the costumes, but when I think of older fans, I think of people who like getting posters, getting the merch, dressing up, and cosplaying as the characters. You know what I'm saying?
I think part of that is kind of why they have the they mentioned the Cartoon Network store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a big thing there.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do decorate, we both, decorate our rooms with the franchises we like. Like in my case, looking at my bedroom right now, I've got posters for Pokemon, The Simpsons, Super Smash Brothers, Star, versus Forces of Evil, and Gravity Falls. So, the room is definitely there. I'm just trying to imagine. I feel like, our friends would really like it. My parents would probably just get really confused. My mom would probably look at the characters from regular show and just think I've, gone bananas.
Oh, no, I remember when my mom came across me watching The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. It's like, why are you watching that ugly monkey dance? I'm here like, what? He's cute.
Yeah. But we're more so talking about, the fans that are, around our age,
Oh, yeah. So, well, I mean, you have the amusement park, for one, in order to, kind of just have a nice experience in the room. If you get tired of the hotel rooms and you don't want to go to the amusement park, you are in a very historical area, more or less. So, yeah, either a car ride or just kind of go off on an adventure. I'm pretty sure it should be pretty easy to find some sort of like national park or something like that too.
I'm
National park.
Let's actually see. I want to look it up on Google Maps. Like as far as what can you do, and that is my house. Give Google Maps a second here. Touch Wonderland. I mean, there was like an outlet shopping center, which that sounds like something my mom would like. There is like a Central Park, but in the nearby area, not too much. I mean, since Pennsylvania, so obviously going to Washington D.C. is not an option because that's just way too far off.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I don't know, like
well, I mean, like there's like historical towns in Pennsylvania. So I can't think of the names of them off the top of my head. That might be a viable option.
I don't know. Maybe they'll do something like, what show was it? I think for the Powerpuff Girls reboot, they had some kind of like fashion show recently. Which, are they going to do just that? Like, I kind of joked when I first heard about this Cartoon Network hotel that is Mordecai going to make my coffee and Steven, Greg, and Pro going to be like, the band or something like that. Like, or I don't know, maybe I'll have like Rebecca Sugar come by and sing some songs for one night only.
Oh, jeez. I would die. That would be amazing.
I'm just trying to like really think of ideas. Not that there's any at all. I'm just trying to think of any that would really warrant, people. I'm from the LA area, but I'm going to travel up to Pennsylvania to a place I don't know too much about just to go to this hotel, Oh,
well, I mean, how close is it? Okay, I remember the name. How close is it to Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, no. That's too far off. That's like a 4-hour drive.
Oh, no. Can't even go to Pittsburgh.
Unless there's the off chance of somebody who is like, you know what? I'm going to Pittsburgh, but I want to check out this Cartoon Network hotel. So this person, books a reservation at the Cartoon Network hotel. And then, go there, stay the night. And then the next day, I'm going to go out to Pittsburgh. Maybe, but that doesn't sound like what a lot of people are going to do.
I mean, I'm the kind of person who probably would do something like that. But the thing is if you want to do that, the deal is kind of to, like, how's it, like, you kind of got to go early in the morning and you're going to have more than a day to stay over Pennsylvania. So you're going to have a lot of other stuff in mind too. So I guess maybe if you're there, you could like dedicate a day to drive off into different cities. Pennsylvania, still a little bit of a stretch, and it's probably more you kind of know the backpackers.
Backpackers.
Yeah, like the kind of people that like to go out, like to ride in their car and like go see sights and stuff. Yeah, so something like that. I don't know if they want to do that with the Cartoon Network hotel. I mean, I could kind of see it work, but it also seems like if you want to be at the Cartoon Network hotel, you're kind of there to enjoy the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to think of what else. I mean, it would definitely be cool if, like, I just think, wouldn't it be cool if, like, you had both Ice Bear and Margaret from Regular Show, they were both, like, servers, and one of them brings you your coffee. I mean, that kind of novelty is definitely really neat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just really trying to think what else. Like, would they do, like, a cosplay meetup? Like, almost like a convention? You know what I mean?
That could be something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this hotel's going to have, like, a center or something like that, but that sounds more like if there's going to be convention in Pennsylvania.
That could be something. I'm pretty sure they might have some form of convention in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
That would be a cool novelty to add to your experience.
Yeah, I mean, for the people watching, if you guys know about any conventions near Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, or that's Wonderland that goes on, please let us know, because I think that will definitely be a huge selling point. It's like, hey, I can go to this Cartoon Network hotel, and then there's going to be a comic convention or an anime convention, and I want to go and dress up as a Crystal Gem. I mean, I remember when I went to WonderCon, I met somebody that dressed up as Yellow Diamond. So if there was something like that, that would really sweeten the deal.
Oh, there's a park. There's a big looking park.
I think that's you're looking at the county park, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, you want to go to the park?
And then just like
gosh.
if I wanted to go to the park, I want to go back to those parks in Mammoth Lakes when I used to be a camp counselor.
Oh, then there's a country club.
I'm trying to think how many people that that want to go to this hotel want to go to a country club. Like, I feel like if they want to do that, they probably stay at the country club.
Probably.
So I don't know. It's definitely a really odd location, and I feel like the Cartoon Network, what they're more so doing is they want to go after people that want to go to this Dutch Wonderland amusement park, and it's like, hey, if you need a place to stay at, we're gonna have a Cartoon Network hotel opening up soon.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel that sort of echoes the Nick Hotel and how they wanted to do the hotel because of the attractions that they had coming up in Universal Studios Orlando.
Yeah, which the problem with the Nick Hotel was because they didn't change with the times. Universal got rid of the Jimmy Neutron ride, and I think the Funkline was saying they didn't really they had other characters like I know they had Aang from Avatar, but they didn't really update the characters. I know SForce Spector also brought up they seem to retire characters rather quickly.
Yeah.
Aside from SpongeBob, so that's what hurt the Nick Hotel, and that's definitely something the Cartoon Network Hotel is going to have to do. When more shows come out, Infinity Train and Victor Valentino are on their way. They're going to have to add, characters and merchandise. Why do I feel I don't know if this is off-putting, but I'm just wondering: are they going to have a this would actually be rather tasty with Victor Valentino. Are they going to have a Taco Tuesday kind of thing? That actually sounds amazing. But
they have to be legitimate tacos, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't feel comfortable going to hard shell tacos anytime soon. I don't even eat the ones from Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. Although me personally, I actually like both hard and soft shell tacos.
I mean, I like hard shell, but when you talk to me about a hard shell, it's not the kind you get here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I hope not. If they ever do that, I hope it's good. The only issue is, what if they just cheap out?
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just being silly. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will get me.
What are we doing? We're speculating. We're basically just saying, hopefully, as more shows get added, they'll update rather than the Nick Hotel, where it seems like updating was really, really slow.
Oh yeah.
So that's what they're going to have to do, that to stay relevant. And I do, as SForce Spector say, I do hope that the Cartoon Network Hotel does get to stick around for a lot longer than the Nick Hotel. Not for a competitive reason, Cartoon Network rules, but just in terms of it's able to stay in business, it changes with the times, and that's what makes it an ongoing success.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think I would have wished the same for the Nick Hotel as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like they were the first ones to give it a shot, so they basically set the blue. Well, I mean, you know what I mean as far as regarding the cartoons
Well, they weren't the first per se. That Disneyland Hotel came before the Nick Hotel.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like, cause when we talk Disney, we're talking big scale with Disney. I'm talking more kind of like independent novelty type stuff.
Yeah.
And with that, I think for what Cartoon Network is trying to do, more than the Disneyland resorts, we are looking a lot more at something like the Nick Hotel.
Yeah, obviously, I just brought up.
That's what I mean by that, because they kind of set the blueprint for this kind of idea. The only reason why I wouldn't say something like Disney is because of how large scale it is, and then that was again the thing that kind of like put the Nick Hotel at a disadvantage, because they were also trying to do it at that scale. Because that's not what it was. I mean, the only other instance that I've heard of, and I don't know much about this, is that they tried to do ones with the Flintstones, but they basically recreated bedrooms.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. It sounds like something that happened, but I'm not really sure.
A long time ago, but even then, it's nothing compared to what they're trying to do with this. So yeah, I mean, looking at that, seeing how they went, you gotta just basically learn from their mistakes in order to do it better. Sadly, they were going to be the example of what not to do, but they still tried it nonetheless. So they're gonna set precedents for it.
What'd you say, Gabby? Can you say it again? You were kind of trailing off.
Oh, well, yeah, basically, how they're going to be the example of what not to do. So, they're going to basically set the precedents and be like, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't try this that they tried, and there's a lot of other examples besides just the upkeeping and the trying to get a large scale with it. I mean, you also have what was the design. A lot of people complained that it was a very wacky design.
I honestly didn't mind the design of the Nick Hotel all that much, though.
I didn't either, but apparently that's a big thing for a lot of people. I know even Disney's had trouble with that, like when they tried to do Disney Quest or Club Disney.
Yeah, Disney Quest was another example. I watched Bright Sun Films video, and it had a very similar problem to the Nick Hotel, where as years went on, it just got dated and dated and dated and dated, and then, of course, the 2 Disney Quest locations eventually ended up just closing up.
Yeah,
though in the case of Disney Quest, I think it was more Disney just gave up on the idea of Disney Quest.
Yeah, even like with the one in Chicago, a lot of people are like, yeah, it looks so out of place. It's so wacky and colorful. It's the middle of Chicago with a lot of business buildings. What is this?
Yeah, and in Chicago, I remember that Jake Williams, the guy from Bright Sun Films, he said the other problem is there's so much competition in Chicago that something like Disney Quest just wouldn't have a chance.
So hopefully, well, I don't think that's going to necessarily be a problem with the Cartoon Network Hotel. But also, you want to have a few things here and there that also keep people around the area just in general, so they stay longer. I think is going to be the real challenge here.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, James Rolfe said in his show, What's Bullshit, that when you go to a hotel, the main reasons you're in a hotel is either you're asleep or there's nothing to do.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully not the latter.
Yeah, I mean, at this hotel, I'm sure for kids, there's definitely going to be a lot of things to do. I'm just concerned what about the adults, especially since Cartoon Network, at least vocally and on social media, has such a big, young adult fan base, people that are, around our age analyzing cartoons. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but as we said before, maybe they could do something like, have like a cosplaying event or have, like a musical night with Rebecca Sugar.
If they did that, I think that would be a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Or a meet the artist kind of a thing. Again, that kind of goes.
It could be like different people, you know. It could be
like maybe they'll have like special like meeting rooms where people can come, and it's like, hey, we're gonna have Rebecca Sugar or JG Quintel. They're coming, and they're gonna, it'll be a panel. You can talk to them after. You can get their autographs and get their picture taken with them. That kind of thing. So
you know what else? Maybe like how they do in certain areas of the Disneyland parks, where it's like you see people drawing.
Yeah.
Like sketches where you go get to see like live drawing. I think that would be pretty interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something along the lines of like draw or color your own cartoon character.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like something they would do more for, like, the kids' menus. I remember,
exactly.
I used to go to restaurants and they would be like, fill out this maze, draw our cartoon characters.
Yeah, but then I think they could also have that other aspect to it, too, where it's like, oh, yeah, professional cartoonist, just sitting there chilling, and you could just pop by and take a gander at what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I actually quite enjoy that, actually, whenever I get to see that at the Disney parks and stuff. Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah. So that'd be cool. I definitely agree with the idea of, like, bringing, like, well-known people over and be like, hey, yeah, that cool show you like watching? This person is in charge of it, and they're the reason you have this and this and this and that in the show. Be like, oh,
amazing. Mm-hmm. I see. So, yeah, that would definitely be, really interesting. Or who knows? I mentioned earlier or are they going to have, like, people dressed as Steven, Greg, and Pearl, dressed up singing songs? Or who knows? Maybe they'll do a thing where it's like when you're at the restaurant in this Cartoon Network hotel, they'll be, like, playing songs while you eat. That kind of a thing. It kind of reminds me.
I don't know. Possibly.
I don't know, I'm just saying, because, like, I remember, I'm sure other hotels do this, but, like, I remember the times when I went to the Grand Canyon, we stayed at this hotel, and when you went down to eat dinner or breakfast, there would always be, like, musicians, singing country songs.
Oh, yeah, like live music, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shucks, I don't know if I have much else to say.
Yeah, I think we pretty much said everything there is to say about this hotel. So, yeah, definitely really excited. Again, we're not really sure if we're going to be able to go out there. Because, on top of how much this hotel is going to cost, you mentioned there's things like how much is a plane ticket going to cost on top of a lot of other things. But, it's definitely a really exciting concept. Maybe one of these days we'll drag along maybe Steven and, we'll go over to Pennsylvania and check this out. Yeah. I mean, who knows? It could possibly work. So I guess we'll leave it here. So thank you, Gabby, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right. By the way, I know this is like, super last minute, but do you have time to talk about like some news regarding Toy Story 4 and how Tom Hanks is saying the ending was very emotional and groundbreaking?
Holy Mac. Yeah.
All right. So, we'll save that recording after, I'm done processing this one. So,
okay.
Alrighty. So, thank you guys for watching. Please leave us your thoughts below. Would you be interested in going down to this hotel in Pennsylvania? Especially for people who live in Pennsylvania in Lancaster County. Do you guys know if there are any like sites to see or things to check out, particularly for the adults? Like, please let us know. I'm sure there's people out there who live in this area that can suggest some really places. So leave those suggestions down below. And until our next discussion, we'll see you guys later.
Bye!
Bye! Hey guys, be sure to like this Blood Moon Bobby video if you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified about my latest upload. Follow me on my social media pages at Blood Moon Bobby to find out about what I'll be covering next and for more of my opinions. Thanks for watching.